Hey everyone, welcome back to Living in Charlotte. I'm Jason Ripoli, and with Christen.ripoli, we are Ripoli Real Estate, and every day we're looking at housing numbers, the market, to help people like you relocate or find a new house here in Charlotte. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at Harrisburg, North Carolina, a very quiet yet really nice place here in North Carolina that not many people know about. So buckle up as we look at the housing market, the numbers, and some things to do if you decide to live in Harrisburg, North Carolina. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So if you guys have been here before, you know I like to look at the market trends to start the video. But before we look at those numbers, I want to take a moment to point out that on the left side of the screen there is all of our contact information. So you can call, text, or email, whatever you feel comfortable with, how you like to contact people. Alright, so looking at the market trends, you can see this is a very desirable location just northeast of Charlotte, North Carolina. You can see the median sales price is up 10.2% year over year at $481,439, which is pretty big number there. And you can see on this graph, I go back all the way to 2019, about 5 years ago, and you can see it was kind of even, and then once the boom hit in 2021, it's been going up and up and up, and it's kind of been stabilized in between about 500,000 to about 400,000. Now, of course, this is the summer season. These are July numbers, so when August comes out in a week or so, I believe this number will creep up to like 500,000, but that will be the peak for the season, and then it will either stabilize there or possibly just kind of creep back down a little bit. But in between this price range, depending on what you're looking for, is probably what you're going to have to pay to live in Harrisburg. So let's move on to number of homes sold. You can see that the highest number within the last 5 years was in June of 2019. It's 60 sold in a given month, and then it kind of went down and spiked up and down from there. The lowest was in, let's see what this date is, January of 21 at just 10. That's really low for the size of Harrisburg. But ever since then, it's been kind of been creeping up here, and now for this month here, we are at 47, which is a 51.6% increase year over year. So that's actually a pretty significant increase. And looking at the next stat here, median days on market, once again, kind of spiky all over the place, but days on market is really low right now at just 34. So if you put your house up for sale, typically within 34 days, you will get that sold. Now, depending on your price point, it is very important to talk to your real estate agent about where you want to price it, because if you go too high, then you have to chase the market down, and we are going down now that we're in the fall season. So you're going to want to price appropriately. If you put it too high, you're just going to have to kind of bring it down every so often, $5,000 or $10,000, and then have people get interested in it again. If you price it right, if you price it just a tad bit lower than what the market's saying, you'll get interest, and you might even get above asking to get to a certain price with competition in mind. Next up, we're going to look at demand. So the first stat we like to look at is sale to list price, which is 99.6%. So the buyers and sellers are almost agreeing on the price. It's very, very close. Negative 1.8% over year. And you can see this graph. The highest we were at was, let's see what this is, June of 21 at 103%. And then May of 22 at, again, almost 104%. But we've been teetering right around that 100% mark. So the buyers and sellers are pretty much agreeing on where the price should be. Sometimes people put it a little bit higher and then they have to come down. They're being pretty close right now. Homes sold above list price is at 21.3%, and that is down 43 points year over year. You can see that during the 21, 22 years, they were really high. You can see that it kind of like double topped here, went up really high here in the summer season, went back down a little bit, and then popped back up here back in May and June of 22. And then we kind of started stabilizing. The market corrected itself. People were still putting their homes just a little bit too high and then had to chase the market down. So that's why this dropped severely down here to start 2023. Popped back up a little bit during the summer season in June, but then actually, which kind of surprised me because we do look at stats every day here at Ripoli Real Estate, it went down quite significantly in July. So I'm not sure what to expect for August. Those numbers should be out within a couple weeks. I'm kind of curious to see what that is, because typically that shouldn't spike down that much in the middle of the summer buying season, where people are kind of snatching things up and wanting to buy some houses and move before the school year and before the fall. All right, the next stat kind of correlates with the last one. So homes with price drops, 11.3%, and that is 3 points higher year over year. You can see at the highest point it was in October of 22, and then it kind of dropped down from there. I think we're going to stabilize between 10 and 20%, but this number here from June to July actually kind of was a steep drop, so I'm curious to see what August brings us. And like I said, that should be out within a week or two. One last thing I want to point out is right up here you can see it says somewhat competitive. I believe that Harrisburg is a pretty competitive market. We are going into the fall season, so it won't be as competitive. So any houses that are on the market, you might be able to get some deals with. But the average home sells for around list price and will go pending in about 31 days. Hot homes, like in good neighborhoods or newly refurbished, anything like that, and if you price it right, you can get above list price, and it only takes about 7 days. So that's a really quick turnaround. So if you have a good agent that knows how to market it, how to set it up and advertise it, you will be in good hands. All right, one of my more fun stats to look at here is migration. First, we're going to look at people where they're coming from when they move to Harrisburg or around the Charlotte area, and then where they're going to when they actually leave the Harrisburg/Charlotte area. So first, we're going to go ahead and look at the top one here, which is New York. Then Washington, LA, Chicago, Boston. A lot of these ones are bigger cities with cost of living that is high, or perhaps high taxes. So a lot of people come here for either, they can afford a bigger house than they would in New York or Washington, and the taxes are a little bit nicer here in Charlotte. So a lot of people do move here for that. And they also move here because this is rated, I think, in the top 5 for businesses. So either businesses are moving here relocation-wise or starting up here. So a lot of these companies move here, and a lot of people want to relocate here for business. All right, let's see where people are going to when they are actually leaving Harrisburg/Charlotte. Myrtle Beach is usually high on the list just because I know people actually are so close to the beach here, about 3 hours if you live right around this area. But you might want to just go to Myrtle Beach and get it over with and live either on the beach or very close to it. Asheville is more in the mountains, so if you like the mountain scene, skiing, all that stuff, that's good for you. And as you work your way down the list, most of the places are actually fairly close. And I'm going to switch this right here, and you can see where people are moving from. It's all right in this area. So people who come to this area, the southeast region of the United States, actually prefer it a lot, and they like the way the South feels, the southern hospitality, and they tend to stay here for quite a while. All right, so we're going to look at some recently sold houses in the area just to kind of get a feel for what they're going for. Some are a little bit higher and some are more mid-range price. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. So this first one here on the list is $700,000. Last sold for $700,000. It was a 5-bed, 3-bath, 3,200 square feet, and was on the market for 33 days. It actually went a little bit under list price, so they got about $10,000 off there. This one here was sold for $700,000, on the market for 41 days. It went actually over list price, so it was marked at $689 and went for $700. This one here is one of the more reasonably priced ones. Just under $400,000 will get you 3-bed, 2.5 bath, about 1,700 square feet. They got exactly what they're asking for, and it took about 97 days. Here's another one that sold for $395. It only took 25 days, and it was exactly what they were asking for, so it was right on target there, and that will get you 3-bed, 2-bath, almost 800 square feet. And the last one here is a little bit bigger, 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,500 square feet. $708,000 went for a little bit under list price, and it took about 100 days on market to sell that one. So you can see the price does vary. You can spend somewhere around maybe $400,000 to get a house, or upwards of $700,000, $800,000, depending on what you need or what you can afford there. Next up on the list is schools. We don't really go over that too much. We do have some excellent resources for you. And of course, they do have some charter schools and private schools down in that area as well. So just reach out if you have any questions on that. We can send you some information to get you started. All right, so all that sounds pretty good. You found a house you liked, you want to try and put an offer, but you want to see what you can do in and around Harrisburg and in Charlotte. So on this next list here is some things that you can do in Charlotte. So as you can see, here's the map. You can see Charlotte is, let me zoom in for you guys. Charlotte is right down here. and you're going to be just up here in the Harrisburg area to the northeast. And these little pins are points of interest. The site that I'm on here is just TripAdvisor, and you do a search for things to do in Harrisburg, North Carolina, and this is the list that will pop up. And you can see if you hover over them, it will show you exactly where it is. So the Hendricks Motorsports Complex is the little white one on the map there. You scroll down more, Charlotte Motor Speedway is really close to Harrisburg. In fact, I used to pass that on my way to work quite often before I got into real estate. And you scroll down a little bit more, this one is also great for the family if you have kids, or even if you don't have kids, we go there at least once or twice a year. Great Wolf Lodge, it's an indoor water park, tons of things to do, huge water slides, and you can just make a weekend of it, and it's so much fun. As you can see, you go down the list, Charlotte is big on like motor speedways and racing. That's big in this area. So another one here is the Rusty Wallace Racing Experience. Try and say that 5 times fast. The Box Escape Room, that was really fun. Sea Life, Charlotte Concord Aquarium. So there's just so many things you can do, and I'm not going to go through them all, but you guys can go ahead and check that out, and you can go down the list here and see if it interests you. All right, and that's all I got for Harrisburg, North Carolina. I hope you guys found value in this video and you enjoyed the market insight and things to do if you do choose to live in Harrisburg. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment on this video, and check out our other videos for our neighborhood tours and our new construction tours, which we just started a series on. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.